Let's get right into the news. Welcome back to the second week of the USD388 news. This week we have some juicy pieces. Let's go get a slice. First up, we have Logan, who covered the Stuco conference. Let's check it out.
Logan Shaw here with the USD388 news. This week I reported on the Stuco conference that EHS hosted, and I caught up and interviewed EHS Stuco president Bobby Cox. Let's go check it out. Logan Shaw here with the USD388 news. I'm here with Bobby Cox, the Stuco president, to talk about the Stuco conference. What were your responsibilities during the conference?
My responsibilities were to announce the introduction of the state director, Mr. Rod Garman, and to announce the breaks.
How do you think the conference went overall?
The conference overall went pretty good. It had a good turnout. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of schools.
How many schools were there?
A rough estimate about 10.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from the conference?
The biggest lesson I learned was from the guest speaker, Michael Quaistis, and he said that you are better than what others think that you are.
Well, sounds like it went well. Thank you, Bob. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Logan. Now we'll go over to our sponsor for this week. This week's sponsor is the Ellis Police Department. Their pledge is to provide honesty, integrity, and fairness to the community of Ellis, Kansas. They asked us to reach out to the younger audience to provide information about licenses and restrictions. Instructional permit for ages 14, 15, and 16. Your restrictions are: you must have a licensed adult in the front seat at all times, minimum age of 21. You have no passenger restriction. Farm permit, ages 14 and 15. Your restrictions are: you can go to or from a farm job, employment, or other farm-related work, to or from school on days when school is in session, over the most direct and accessible route between the licensee's residence and school of enrollment for the purposes of school attendance, anytime, anywhere, with a licensed adult, minimum age 21. Passenger restriction, may not transport any non-sibling minor passengers. Less restricted farm permit, age 16. Anywhere from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Anywhere, anytime to or from a farm job, employment, or farm-related work. Anytime going to or from authorized school activities, directly to or from any religious worship service held by a religious organization. Anytime, anywhere, with a licensed adult, minimum age 21. Restricted driver's license, to or from work, to or from school on days when school is in session, over the most direct and accessible route between the licensee's residence, school of enrollment for the purposes of school attendance, anytime, anywhere, with a licensed adult, minimum age 21. This week, John covered the Court of Appeals meeting with the juniors and seniors last Thursday. Let's peep this.
Hi, I'm John Gammas at the USD 388 News, and today 2 judges came to Ellis High School to talk to us about how it is to be in court. Let's go check it out. Hi, I'm here with Judge Powell and Judge Payne. So, what are you trying to get out to the students?
Well, our goal today, we held court here at Fort Hays State University, and we heard actual cases today. And the reason we go to universities and to high schools like Ellis High School is to educate students about what our court system does and have students be able to see in real life what real courts do, hearing real cases. Our purpose of coming out to Ellis High School this afternoon was to have an opportunity to meet with the students and to tell them a little bit about our court system and how our system of justice works and our system of government works. And Judge Perrin gave a really good presentation about the application of the Fourth Amendment, which of course is our constitutional protection against unreasonable searches and seizures.
Yes, we really enjoy doing these programs, and we try to get out to as many places as we can. And we encourage schools to let us know if they would like to have us present a program, and we'll see about perhaps being able to fit them in.
So, what is your favorite part of your job?
I really enjoy researching a question about the law, researching, going into the research books, little case books, and finding the right answer, and then issuing a ruling on in a case that I know is correct.
I'm pretty much the same thing. I enjoy researching some of the questions that are brought to us. The harder, the better. And I also very much enjoy doing programs like this.
So, how much schooling would you have to do to become a judge?
Well, it takes a lot of schooling. First, you have to graduate from high school. Then you have to go to college and get a bachelor's degree. And then you have to get accepted into law school. And law school is a 3-year course of study. And when you graduate from law school, you have a Juris Doctor degree. And so you need that just to take the bar in the state of Kansas. So then you have to pass an exam. It's called the bar exam. And if you pass that exam, then you're admitted to practice law in the state of Kansas. In the state of Kansas, before you can be a judge, you have to have practiced law for a minimum of 5 years before you can be appointed to the bench. And so most people who become judges, however, practice much longer than 5 years. It's pretty rare that someone comes to the bench after only practiced 5 years. I practiced law for over 11 years before I became a judge.
I was a prosecutor for about 11 years before I became a judge. Then I was a trial judge for 8.5 years, and I've been on the Court of Appeals for almost 28 years.
Okay, thank you very much. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, John. Now let's slide to John Groff with this week's sports.
Hi, I'm John Groff with this week's sports. I'm going to start off with volleyball. They went to Kiowa County for a tournament over the weekend and had a strong showing, taking third. They beat Skyline and La Crosse in their brackets and then beat Buckland for the third place title. Now on to football. On Friday, the EHS team traveled to La Crosse and the Railers owned the first quarter offensively and defensively, finding the end zone twice, and the score at the end of the first quarter was 14-0. Then they struggled a little bit defensively and couldn't do as much and went into halftime with a 22-28 score. They came out in the second half and ended up winning 44-34 though.
Thanks, John. Now I'll go over to Riley Reese for some juicy current events.
Hi, I'm Reese Craver with USD388 News, and this is the current events. A 3-day-old and 2 other infants were stabbed at a New York in-home daycare center. 2 young girls and a young boy plus 2 adults. The attacker was a 52-year-old woman working in the daycare and tried to stab the children and adults before trying to kill herself. The children in the daycare ranged from ages 3 days old to 1 month. The man was stabbed in the leg, and the lady was stabbed repeatedly in the torso. All are in critical but stable condition. This happened Friday, September 21st, 2018 at around 3:45 a.m. A 23-year-old man has been charged with the murder and stabbing death of a Washington woman who was jogging Tuesday evening. The woman that was stabbed's name was Wendy Martinez. She was 35 years old. The suspect is charged with the murder, and his name was Anthony Crawford. Authorities are searching for a 6-year-old boy with autism. He is described as nonverbal and has been missing since Saturday. Maddox Scott Rich was last seen at Rankin Park in Gassiona, North Carolina, according to city police. Gassiona is about 23 miles east of Charlotte. Maddox was last seen with his father and another adult at the park around 1:30 p.m. Saturday. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Reese. Now we'll go over to Trace, who covered This Week in History.
Hey, I'm Trace Pattee, back with this week's edition of This Week in History. For this week, we have Satchel Paige pitching 3 innings as a 59-year-old on September 25th, 1965, making him the oldest ever to pitch in a major league game. Paige only gave up 1 hit in 3 innings. Next, we have the Bill of Rights passing Congress, also on September 25th of 1789. The Bill of Rights was 12 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, which were designed to protect the basic rights of the U.S. citizens. Lastly, we had the discovery of Neptune. A German astronomer discovered the 8th planet in an observatory in Berlin on September 23rd, 1846. Neptune was named after the Roman god of the sea. That's it for this week. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Trace. Now we'll pop it over to Riley with this week's Power Hour.
Pickles. America's favorite pastime. Pickles, yes.
So, let's give it to him.
We gotta show you guys. We dried them off. We're not monsters putting wet pickles in people's pockets. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Goodness gracious.
Thanks, Riley. Now we'll blast off to Trey with this week's Name That Tune.
Hey, I'm Trey Hudson with the USD388 News, and today I went down to play some Name That Tune with the 5th graders. Let's check it out. Hey, I'm here with Charlie Arnold, a 5th grader here at Washington Grade School. Let's get right into this. Our next contestant is Ben Byers.
I don't know.
All right. Now I'm here with Ellie Brohl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, looks like Charlie won. Back to you, Ben.
Hold up one second. Is that a Wilderman?
I'm not a human being, and I came up from nothing, just imagine that. Now I got my own, just imagine that. Try to take it from me, I ain't got it back. I lost day ones, just imagine that. I'm feeling like it's all on me. Soon as they fall, they gon' call on me. I remember when they used to talk about me. These days, now I got it all, just imagine that.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of the USD 388 News. Hope to see you next week.